There's a growing belief that if something makes us uncomfortable, it must be harmful. That if a conversation challenges us, it's unsafe. That if someone disagrees with us, they're attacking us. But discomfort isn't violence, and avoiding it may be costing us more than we realize. This is Gray, where we sit in complexity, resist extremes, and talk about life lived in the gray. I'm Angela. In recent years, our language has shifted. We describe ideas as dangerous, conversations as unsafe, disagreements as harm. And while real harm absolutely exists and should be taken seriously, something else is happening alongside that truth. We've started treating intellectual discomfort as if it's the same thing as violence. So today, we're going to talk about what happens when a culture loses its tolerance for friction and why growth, by definition, requires it. Discomfort is part of being human. It shows up when we learn something new, when our assumptions are challenged, when we realize we might be wrong. Harm, on the other hand, is about injury, psychological, physical, or emotional. The problem with that, when we collapse these two ideas into one, we remove an essential mechanism for growth. If every uncomfortable idea is framed as dangerous, then curiosity becomes risky and learning becomes optional. This shift didn't come out of nowhere. We live in a time of heightened awareness around trauma, power, and injustice. And that awareness matters. But when those frameworks are applied without discernment, they begin to flatten reality. Instead of asking, is this actually harmful? We ask, does this make me uncomfortable? And those are not the same question. When we avoid disagreement, a few things happen. We become intellectually fragile. We lose resilience. We mistake affirmation for safety. If your ideas can't survive questioning, they don't become stronger, they become brittle. And brittle belief systems tend to shatter under pressure. Disagreement feels threatening when beliefs are fused with identity. If who I am is inseparable from what I believe, then questioning that belief feels like questioning my worth. So instead of engaging, we retreat. Instead of debating idea, we attack character. Instead of listening, we protect. But disagreement isn't rejection, and challenge isn't erasure. There's a difference between emotional safety and intellectual safety. Emotional safety is about dignity, respect, humanity. Intellectual safety is about never being challenged. A society that prioritizes the second one over the first will eventually lose both, because growth requires tension, and tension requires trust. Healthy disagreement starts with curiosity, with questions instead of accusations, with listening instead of labeling, with the humility to admit, I might not see the whole picture. You don't have to abandon conviction to engage respectfully. In fact, conviction held with humility is far more compelling than certainty held with fear. The next time you feel defensive in a conversation, pause. Ask yourself, am I experiencing harm or discomfort? What assumption is being challenged? What might I learn if I stayed present? Discomfort is often the doorway to deeper understanding, if we're willing to walk through it. A culture that can't tolerate disagreement can't innovate, heal, or mature. If we want a healthier society, we have to relearn how to stay in the room when things get uncomfortable. Not every challenge is a threat. Not every question is an attack. Sometimes it's just an invitation to grow. This is gray, because life is rarely black and white.